going on YouTube? This is Sam from TeamSamuraiX1 here, and today guys, welcome to the top 10 best main deck and side deck card options you guys can be using for the new format. The whole purpose of this video is to give you guys an idea on some of the cards you guys can be using in the main deck or side deck to be preparing for the NAWCQ. These cards are in no particular order, by the way. These are just a layout of cards that you guys can be using for the June 12, 2017 format. So without further ado, let's begin with this video. Alright guys, so here is a list of 10 cards / categories that you guys can be using in your main deck and also your side deck. And the very first category that I would like to cover is hand traps. Hand traps are a really important aspect in today's metagame. They help assist you in match wins if used correctly and are very powerful. The first hand trap that I'd like to discuss you guys about is a really great hand trap against the true Draco Demise matchup, and this card is called Nawcq. Nawcq locks your opponent from searching once they have already added a card from the deck to their hand, and this is very effective in that matchup is because they utilize cards like Terraforming, Pod Duality, and Pot of Desires, and once they're already resolving those cards that adds a card from their deck to your hand, you're immediately able to activate Nawcq from your hand to the graveyard, so that way that they have no more searching access or drawing access for the rest of the turn. So this stops cards like True Draco's Heritage, Card of the Demise, and even Dragonic Diagram, which is really important. And True Draco is a deck that's known for its capability to search any card from the deck to your hand. If you're able to activate Nawcq on their first search, this card can entirely stun them for the entire turn. Next hand trap is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. This card is a great card against the overall meta, and with the new recent ban list in effect, Zodiacs only have one more play after their initial normal summon, which is Zodiac Barrage. Ogre can stop their summon upon Rat's activation and also stop their barrage, which can potentially stun them for the turn if they don't have both Rat and Zodiac Barrage. Unless they have Soul Charge, but that's going to be very unfortunate on your part. This card is also really great against the True Draco matchup. Hitting cards like Diagram and also True Draco Heritage and Disciples is really amazing. One of the greatest hand trap to counter the best hand trap in the game, you guys all know it, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This card is a solid card just like Ghost Ogre against the overall meta. It has a 3-in-1 built-in effect which can negate special summon from the deck, drawing, and also dumping a card from the deck to the graveyard. Really good against cards that requires a cost to activate. Such cards as Miscellaneous, which requires a huge cost to activate. Ash Blossom can thrive off that. Ashing your opponent then can be very effective as well. Also is a great counter against Max C, Pot of Desires, and also Card of the Demise in the True Draco matchup. And this card is just an overall solid card in today's metagame. Next card we have on the list is Flying Sea. This card is a really powerful card against a Zoo Mirror match, assuming that the American Nationals is going to be dominated by 95% Zodiacs. The only out that Zoo player must have to this is a Zodiac Barrage or a Forbidden Chalice. This card is really good upon deactivation of Barrage, so that way that they have no chance of popping it. This card alone slows down the deck by a ton. If you want to make the biggest meta call for the NAWCQ, Ghost Reaper is the card you should be considering to main deck or even at least side decking it. This card within itself is a blowout card in the Zodiac Mirror match, and having not to worry about Trident saves you a ton of stress. This card alone takes out the disruption abilities that Zodiac has, and not having to deal with a Trident makes the mirror match much easier. Not only does it deal with Trident, but can also deal with Broad Bow, which is the main core consistency in Zodiacs. So killing the Trident and Broad Bow can guarantee you an easier match win than having the deck at full power. If you guys want to make the biggest meta call, you guys should be considering main decking this card against the Zodiac Mirror match. The second category that I have on the list is called Field Removal. Cards like Dark Hole, Regeki, and Slumber. These cards are one of the best main deck, side deck outs to the overall metagame. Board wipes are really good since it clears problematic boards such as Trident and also Masterpiece if it's unaffected by monster and traps. That way that you don't have to use your resources that you already have just to bait cards like Trident out, since the board wipes can easily just take care of it all at once. Slumber is also a really good card that allows access to more damage on the board, which can potentially just search a Kaiju next turn by banishing it from the graveyard and adding a Kaiju from your deck to your hand. So Field Removal, Dark Hole, Regeki, and Slumber are cards that you guys should be considering main decking at least, or even side decking it for Nationals. The next board removal that I would like to talk to you guys about is Forbidden Apocrypha. This card is absolutely broken. Usually cards like Dark Hole, Regeki, and Slumbers can easily be outed with cards like Ash. Ash can stop Slumbers, and My Body's a Shield can stop Dark Hole and Regeki. But Forbidden Apocrypha, the only card that can legit stop this card are trap negation cards such as Wiretap or, you know, 7 Tools with the Bandit, but no one plays those cards in today's format. It's really hard to play around this card, and once your opponent already has a board full of XYZ monster, you can activate Forbidden Apocrypha, call XYZs, and send all those monsters to the graveyard. That's what's really powerful about the card. It doesn't destroy it, it sends the monster to the graveyard, so that way cards like My Body's Shield will not work against it. Number 3 spot, we got Kaijus. Similar to board wipes, but on a lesser scale, Kaijus are an overall out to problematic monsters such as Trident and Masterpiece. These monsters are a 1-card spot removal to get rid of the problems you are dealing with. For number 4, we got you guys a category called Quick Play Spells. I believe that quick play spells are very impactful in today's metagame, so without further ado, let's get started. For our very first quick play spell, I got you guys Forbidden Chalice. If you guys are not main decking this card already, I recommend you guys at least side decking it. This card is very powerful, especially against Zodiac, since it deals with Trident but also negates the overall effect, so that way that it does not gain the attack boost of any other Zodiac materials attached to it. It's very powerful since it negates the overall banishing effect of Whiptail while it has an Xyz material under it. This card is really great against Masterpiece if it's unaffected by monsters and traps. The next quick play spell card that we got is My Body's a Shield. A lot of people have already been main decking this card since it's a good overall card to counter board wipes such as Dark Hole, Regeki, and Kaiju Slumber, and it's really good against Masterpiece if it's unaffected by monsters and traps, and also, most importantly, very powerful against Trident. And for those of you who do not know, it can also negate hard effects such as Ghost Ogre, and also Psyframe Gamma, which is really good. Overall, My Body's a Shield is a solid quick play spell card that should be considered to be main deck as a 3 of, in my personal opinion, for the NAWCQ. Last but not least, for the quick play spell card that you guys might want to consider main decking for the Zodiac mirror match is Enemy Controller. Some people have already been preparing to main deck this card versus the mirror match for Zodiacs, stealing your opponent's Trident and overlaying on top of it for your own Broadbow, etc. to gain advantage is pretty amazing. Also, if stealing a Zodiac monster with a Rapier under it, you can do the full power Zodiac combo, just like when we had Rapier at 3. So this card, if you guys want to be prepared for the mirror match, you guys should definitely be considering to main deck Enemy Controller. For the number 5th spot, I got you guys a category called Back Row Removal, and the very first Back Row Removal card that I would like to talk to you guys about is Cosmic Cyclone. This card has been really popular since the release of Maximum Crisis, since it's a good counter against these spell and trap cards in True Dracos. The fact that it vanishes instead of destroying like MST makes it very useful in the True Draco matchup, so that way that the spell and trap cards don't trigger off upon their destruction. This card is very useful against Paleozoic as well, since the trap cards won't stay in the graveyard. Good against Barrage as well, since it won't gain the ability to attach itself to a Zodiac XYZs upon the destruction. Overall, solid card. For example, if you're playing the mirror match and you have Trident and Cosmic Cyclone, you can stop your opponent's normal summon with Trident's effect by popping it, and if they have a follow-up play with Barrage, you can Cosmic Cyclone the Barrage, and if that happens, your opponent's turn is legitimately over. Twin Twister is also a very powerful card against the Paleozoic matchup and also against the Zodiac mirror match, because end phase you can activate Twin Twister to basically try to get rid of cards like Solemn Strike, Solemn Warning, and even Dimensional Barrier, so that way that you are safe for your turn and you don't have to worry about cards like D-Bears and such, which Twin Twisters can be really amazing as well. The last back removal that I would like to talk to you guys about is a card called Unending Nightmare. Since the release of Pendulums at its full power, this card can see a lot of potential in the current metagame. This card hits scales against the matchup to prevent Pendulum summoning, and also from Wisdom Eyes from triggering is a blowout. Also, this card is very popular against True Draco, hitting cards like Diagram and also the Floodgate traps to prevent Tribune summoning on your turn can be very annoying for the player that is piloting True Draco. The fact that you're able to activate this card multiple times per turn to pop a face-up spawn trap card on the field can be very annoying for players to deal with. For the number 6 spot, I got you guys Dimensional Barrier, one of the best trap cards in today's metagame to either main deck or even side decking it. Overall, great card against any deck that heavily relies on the extra deck, great versus invokes, and especially really powerful against the Zodiac, since this card basically says skip your turn. The next card that I like talked about has been increasingly seeing play in the new format. This card is called Anti-Spell Fragrance. Mentioned earlier in the video on how Zodiacs have only 2 plays they can do per turn with their normal summon and also Zodiac Barrage. If you stop their initial normal summon, the only follow-up is either a barrage or a soul charge, and this is when anti-soul fragments come into play. This card slows down the matchup by a ton, especially the Draco variants, since they heavily rely on the spell cards to get into their resources. Also, since the popularity of Pendulum rises again, this card will see heavy play since it's legit an auto win against every Pendulum deck. For the number 8 spot, I got you guys a Floodgate called Master Restrict. Master Restrict really popular in the Monarch format, and also very good in this format as well. Master Restrict is a powerful guard against any deck that relies on tribute summoning. This card can potentially lock out True Draco from playing the game. The only way for True Dracos to out this card is Draconic Diagram by popping their own spell cards. But comboing off this card with Cosmic Cyclone and also Unending Nightmare could be a huge threat for the True Draco player. So for those of you who are scared of the True Draco matchup, Master Restrict and cards like Unending Nightmare and Cosmic Cyclones are really good card to side in against that matchup. For the number 9 spot, this is a really underrated card in my personal opinion. This card is called Magic Deflector. This card is very underrated but can be very effective if utilized correctly. Magic Deflector was last seen in the Monarch format and it was really good then. Mainly used against the True Draco matchup to negate the field spell, Draconic Diagram, and the continuous spell cards such as True Draco's Heritage and even True Draco's Disciples for a turn can be a huge stun for your opponent. Also, negating your opponent's Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclones, My Body's Shield, and even Enemy Controller can be very effective. Last but not least guys, for the number 10 spot, I got you guys Lose One Turn, Skill Drain, and the Monarch's Erupt. These cards are mainly used for the True Draco Demise matchup to side in against Zodiacs. These cards are amazing floodgates to side into or even main decking while playing True Dracos. Overall, great negation effects against Zodiacs. Skill Drain and the Monarch Erupt while playtesting have been very successful towards my favor against those matchups, since it's literally an auto win if your opponent has no out to it. So these cards are very effective against that matchup, especially comboing off with Masterpiece on the field. Your opponent will have a hard time beating that board of like a card like Erupt, Lose One Turn, and even Skill Drain while on board, which can pose a huge threat for your opponent. Alright guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you guys watched till the end, I really hope this video helped you guys out. That's what I'm trying to do with this video. If you guys enjoyed these type of videos where I talk to you guys top 10 cards and things like that, make sure you guys leave it in the comment section below. And for those of you who haven't yet subscribed, you guys subscribe to the channel and leave a thumbs up. That will be absolutely amazing for more top 10 videos. Thank you guys so much for watching the end. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love you guys all and see you guys at the NAWCQ this year. Alright guys, this is Sam from Team Samurai signing out. Alright guys, peace.